This is Access Houston on 97.9 The Box.
Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I'm your host, KG Smooth. Welcoming first-timer, the founder of Big Give Houston, the lovely Megan Ortiz. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. We had talked a while ago via email, and I wanted to have you on the program to make people aware of Big Give Houston. So please explain to us, what is Big Give Houston?
Yeah, so Big Give Houston is a 24-hour collaborative fundraiser. We want to shine the spotlight on local nonprofits and the amazing work that they're doing in the community. So we are hosting a 24-hour fundraiser from midnight to midnight. Originally, it was going to be on September 13th. More recently, as we all know, Hurricane Harvey has just devastated our region. So instead, on the 13th, what we're going to do is host a happy hour at Raven Tower.
Okay.
It's a bar just north of Houston with an amazing lookout point to see our beautiful city. And this fundraiser is going to raise funds that are going to go directly into the Harvey Relief Fund. And then Big Give Houston will happen on Giving Tuesday, which is November 28th.
Okay. What's the mission and the history of Big Give Houston? Yeah,
so we started last year. We had 208 nonprofits participate. We raised $150,000 in 24 hours. And it's a moment to say, you know, here are all the amazing local nonprofits. Here's what they're doing in our community. And what we aim to do is connect donors with these nonprofits. So add to the exposure that these nonprofits have, allow them to increase their donor base and really fund the amazing life-changing work they're doing in the community.
Wow. So if there's, maybe there's, Jessica Smith who is listening and she just got, approved to have a 501c3 nonprofit, how could she possibly get on board or get involved in use you all services? Yeah.
So right now, to date, we have 287 nonprofits that are signed up. We're working on signing up a few more. If you'd like to participate in any capacity, be it if you have a nonprofit, if you like to volunteer, if you like to sponsor the event, I encourage you to email us at hello@biggivehouston.org or go to our website. We're all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. This is a collaborative event, and we want to celebrate Houstonians and the amazing work that we're doing right here in our very own city. It's important that we take a moment to shine the spotlight on these local nonprofits who are working day to day on the front lines of the issues that are most important to Houstonians and impact Houstonians most.
Yeah, I love that. I'm interested to know that you just saw the need and it everything just came into fruition.
Yeah, so this is a volunteer job for me. I work in the oil and gas industry by day, but I've always loved the concept of giving days. I experienced it when I lived in Austin and when I lived in San Antonio, and a giving day is essentially just a second to reflect on the local work that's happening and make sure that we support local nonprofits. So when I relocated back to Houston in 2015, I'm a fifth-generation Houstonian. My grandmother was raised in the Heights back in the 1900s and the 20s. And I was looking for the event. I wanted to get involved. I wanted to just be on the committee and just help out. And to my surprise, it did not exist. So Big Give Houston was born.
Yeah. You're listening to Access Houston. We're talking to Megan Ortiz, the founder of Big Give Houston. Speaking of Big Give and giving big, with the recent devastation that Hurricane Harvey caused our area, one of the things that just really made my heart so happy was watching the different people of different ethnic backgrounds, socioeconomic statuses, genders, whatever, helping each other. Each other. And I'll be more specific. There was one time I was watching CNN, and this was in real time. It was an older white gentleman with a boat who was rescuing, I don't know where they were from. I don't know if they were Iranian or they were from the Middle East, because they had the turbans and they had the beards, and to see this white man helping this family, and then with the black servicemen, and then the other lady, like just the diversity of how everybody was helping everybody. And I thought to myself, this is America.
Yeah.
Not that mess that we saw earlier in October in Charlottesville. Not that. This right here. And that just it just warmed my heart and said, you know what, there is hope.
Yeah, and the city has really come together in what I like to call DIY relief efforts. People have been setting up Google Sheets, setting up Google Docs, organizing people. The other day, my daughter and I picked up a whole bunch of food from Reef Houston, which is a restaurant downtown, and we delivered it to HPD officers. And it's just moments like that where, we're using social media to mobilize and to say, this is Houston. We're going to turn around. We're going to help our neighbor. It doesn't matter where you from or what you believe or who you voted for.
Yeah.
We're going to help you.
Yeah, that's so important. You're listening to Access Houston. Megan Ortiz, the founder of Big Give Houston. So let's talk about the big event that is happening on November the 28th.
Yeah.
And hopefully I hope you come back when it gets closer to the time to talk about that. Yeah, let's talk about the November 28th
So
event.
the giving all starts on midnight, and it lasts until 11:59 p.m. on Giving Tuesday. After you eat your turkey, I know a lot of people like to go out for Black Friday, and they like to buy online. Lots of great deals happening on Cyber Monday. Then the following Tuesday after Thanksgiving is Giving Tuesday. And it's a moment to say, okay, while you're spending those hard-earned dollars, making sure you're checking off your wish list items for your family, why don't you segment a little bit of that for nonprofits and make sure that you are using this money to support local charities. So all the giving starts at midnight. It's a way to gamify it, right?
Sure.
Which nonprofit can raise the most money?
Yeah.
I encourage you to go to biggivehouston.org prior to the actual day and find a few nonprofits that maybe you haven't heard of before. Read about their mission. We have access to their websites, their mission, their social media links, images. It's just amazing the work that is happening here. There's so much love happening and so much love to go around. Find a few new nonprofits to support.
So you all are like a one-stop shop for the nonprofit searches and whatnot.
Absolutely. I've heard it referred to as a Google for local nonprofits.
A Google for local. I love it. I love it there. Megan, can you speak on how it makes you feel to give back and to help those that are trying to help others?
Yeah. So I think that a lot of times we get wrapped up in our daily routines and we say, I got to be here this time and I got to do this. And, I'm a mother. I've got a lot on my plate. But whenever you give, it's a different feeling. It's a different sensation to be able to say, I'm going to take this moment of my life or this amount of money and I'm going to give it to somebody else that might need it more. I mean, there's no greater feeling and no greater connection. It's our ability to connect with our local community and to be able to invest in Houston, invest in our local community. Why would we not turn around and put these dollars back into local hands? Yeah.
That is amazing. Log on to biggivehouston.org for all of the information. Don't forget, the happy hour happening this Tuesday.
September 13th on Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday, my bad. That's a Wednesday.
Yeah,
on this Wednesday.
6:30 to 8:30 at Raven Tower. We'll be out there. Come say hi. Come give us a hug. We'd love to see you. We want to know that you're okay. And we want to know how we can support you.
Absolutely. And shout out those social media accounts one more time.
Yeah, so it's all Big Give Houston. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. Smoke Signals. You can reach us.
At Big Give Houston and the website biggivehouston.org. Megan Ortiz, the founder of Big Give Houston. Thank you for stopping by the program, and I'll see you in a couple of months.
Yes, I'll see you in a couple of months. Thank you so much for having us.
Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I'm your host, KG Smooth, welcoming from one of my favorite grocery stores, if not my favorite grocery store, because I grew up shopping at Kroger back home in Ohio, because that's where the headquarters is in Cincinnati. I want to welcome Ms. Joy Partan, who is the Corporate Affairs Manager at Kroger. Good morning.
Good morning.
And the lovely Marla Fielder, who is the Regional Director of Pharmacy at Kroger. Good morning, Marla.
Good morning.
So, everyone, we are in recovery and relief mode for Hurricane Harvey. It hit southeast Texas pretty hard, and now Florida is bracing themselves. But you all at Kroger, you stepped up to the plate and saw a need, and I think it is absolutely incredible, phenomenal. I can't even think of an adjective for the work that you all are doing with people, evacuees, in the shelters. people who need medication, and you all stepped up to the plate to fill people's prescriptions. Why?
Wow. Well, I'll let Marla go into the details about everything we are doing at the GRB with the trailer, but just from a macro sense, I mean, we're part of this community. We have 110 stores in this region, and it's our duty to take care of Houstonians. So even before the storm, law enforcement and EMS, all the first responders were in overdrive. So we were feeding them from our stores and giving them toiletries. So some of them weren't going home for days. And then as soon as the storm was over, we were shuttling truckloads of water and food to the shelters, to the GRB, to NRG, to the food bank. So lots going on that was in the works before the storm even hit. But yeah, Marla, tell everybody about that wonderful pharmacy trailer.
Yeah.
So, the why is really simple to me. That's what we're here for. As a pharmacist, your first thing that you ever think of is to serve the community and the people. That's why we all went to pharmacy school. And so there really wasn't a why, but it was like, I better was the first thought, and to take care of our community. And so at the trailer, we have a 50-foot trailer with the top 200 medications in there. And we filled over 1,300 scripts the first week that we were there. And so the why kind of was self-explanatory once we got in there and saw how much the need really was.
Yeah, I was watching I'm from Dayton, Ohio, and I had flew home because my brothers had threw a fight party for the Mayweather-McGregor fight, and I ended up getting stuck. I mean, no better place than to be at home, and my family was very grateful. And as I was watching the devastation unfold on cable news, I was just so frustrated that I wasn't here to help. But when people were getting rescued, and I just remember live shots of evacuees asking, oh, wait, I need to go back. I need to get my medication. And it clicked in my head. I was like, oh, my goodness. Like, I'm glad that people are thinking of that, because maybe some will forget because they're in a state of panic and shock and don't know what to do. And then, for some who have to take medication every day for treatment, 1 or 2 missed doses, whatever your condition or situation is, can worsen. And so was it difficult to fill these prescriptions with the different type of medications that people are on, and just all of the variety of ailments that people have?
No, not at all. We really brought the kind of the medications we knew that we needed. So blood pressure, diabetes, a lot of mental health out there. So we brought some mental health prescriptions as well. Cholesterol medications, antibiotics. There's tons of just contaminated water out there that we knew people would be kind of traveling through and exposed to
some things.
And so we brought those. And then certainly once we got here, we saw that, we need a little bit of this or that. And so we just kind of went to a couple of our stores nearby and resupplied with whatever medications the doctors wrote or patients brought in their bottles for.
Yeah, the trailer. Is it a trailer or a semi truck? I mean, it's beautiful. It's big and beautiful. Whatever it is.
It's a mobile miracle.
The mobile miracle. Joy. I like that. I like that a lot. Was GRB your first stop?
It was. That was where the first center was that we knew about. And so kind of that was my game plan, just trying to get in, figure out how we need to get there, who we need to contact. And we were able to be very successful. They moved very quickly for us. The emergency medical services moved very quickly for us to make sure that we were able to get in there. Quick turnaround, getting licensed, and all the things that go on in the background with that. So, and they were been so appreciative. We've gotten lots of high fives and hugs, and just that it just made it all come together to know that everyone knew that this is what was actually needed at the GRB.
Absolutely. You're listening to Access Houston.
It is beautiful. It's 50 feet long.
Mm-hmm.
Like Marla said, there's 200 medications inside, computers for all the pharmacists. 5 pharmacists can work in there at once. They see the patients in front of the trailer inside the GRB. They're in air conditioning the whole time. The doctors or nurses bring them over, and then somebody runs the script up the ramp into the mobile pharmacy unit, and a pharmacist fills it and brings it right back out. I mean, it's quite efficient, and it's the only one in there. I mean, we're the only one filling meds on site.
Wow, that's amazing. You're listening to Access Houston. We're talking to Joy Partan and Marla Fielder from the pharmacy at Kroger. Well, Joy is the corporate affairs manager, and Marla is the regional director of pharmacy at Kroger. Was there a process that the evacuees had to go through in order to receive their prescription and medications?
So once they were considered a resident, if you will, of the shelter, then there was a couple of different avenues. So there was a whole medical system, if you will, there where they have geriatrics, cardiovascular, all the specialties, including behavioral medicine, that if they were seen by a doctor, then the doctor would bring over, or they would bring the patient over with a prescription. If a patient didn't need to be seen and just needed a refill of their medications, if they had their bottle, we took the information from the bottle and worked through kind of our disaster recovery processes that are available to us. If they didn't have their bottle, we worked hard to try to get in contact with a doctor or try to get in contact with their normal pharmacy to get that information for them. But most of the time, if they didn't have their bottle, then a doctor wrote a script for them so we could take care of them. And we've been filling up to 30-day supply for all their maintenance medications. So not just get them through the short time that they're at the shelter, but then give them a little bit of time to rebound and get situated and get back to whatever normal will be for them.
Yeah, I'm curious to know, how are you all? How are you all holding up? I mean, this can be quite emotionally draining, mentally exhausting. How are you all?
It's been actually quite rewarding. You dig deep and, I don't even know how many days we've been in at this point, but we've been in for many days and you just keep going. There's something very magnetic and magic, if you will, about going there every single day. And so we've had a team there. One of the people that's been working, one of the pharmacists, she had 3 feet of water in her house. She was there every day because that's actually where she wanted to be. And although there's many other things that some of us needed to do, we wanted to be there every day. The stories, the hugs, the high fives. It's very much life-changing, but I would not have asked. Of course, certainly I don't want the circumstances to be what they are, right? But if they had to be this way, I wouldn't change a thing about it.
I love that. I love your spirit already. One of the things that you mentioned, Marla, was medication for people with mental health issues. There was a young lady who I saw on, I don't know if it was MSNBC or CNN, one of them, and she had moved here from Katrina because she was displaced, and she was recounting the accounts that happened when Harvey came in and, having to get her children and everything. And once she finished her story, she was like, I think I'm going to need to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist because I believe I may have some mental health issues after going through this a second time. And in that moment, I thought to myself, like, that is the realest, most honest thing that I've seen yet, because, at least for in the Black community, mental health or going to, a psychologist, psychiatrist is kind of shunned on. We're always told, pray about it, you'll get over it, just be strong. And it's like, no, there's nothing wrong with sitting on someone's couch because it actually helps. I mean, think about it. When something's going on and you bottle it up and then you talk about it, you speak on it out loud for the first time, the relief that you get from that alone. So it's very important. And so what has been, from what you all can see, the people's mental state?
So there's a little bit of everything. As the days progressed, you could see reality kind of sitting in. There's the first kind of shock, if you will, of what just happened. There were some people that, planned a little better, and there's some that no planning could have done anything different for them. Literally, water came rushing in, and they needed to be evacuated by a boat within minutes. And so there's all those different ranges of people. Certainly, there's a lot of people there saying, we'll get through this together. Yeah. But there are some that just have a very destitute look and feel, and it's reasonable. There's, of course, being a pharmacist, you kind of also end up being a Dear Abby kind of, if you will. So when they sit down at the table, and they feel comfortable enough to kind of unload and just release and say, I've lost everything. I don't know where my brother is. whatever those pieces are. And so to be that person for them, of course, it's a little tough because there's this person and then there's the next one and then there's two more. And so you just know that my stupid little ceiling leak that I have, or,
pales in comparison.
Right. Is nothing. And so we have a community out there that's hurting, and to be there for them is amazing. And we've just, made sure that if the conversation kind of took a left or right turn, that we got one of the nurses, one of the doctors over, a counselor, just to kind of have that conversation in the event that they didn't go through that side of whatever medical assistance that they needed, to get everyone that we could the help that they needed.
That's amazing. You're listening to Access Houston. We're talking to Marla and Joy from Kroger. Joy, what is Kroger's commitment going forward? Because, let's be honest, it's going to be a long time. It's going to be a long time before people, they say, weeks, months. No, it's going to be years. It's going to be some years. So going forward, what is Kroger's commitment to helping out?
Sure, and you're right. This is a long haul.
Yeah,
I bumped into a social services worker at the GRB that I've known for years, and they said, this isn't weeks, this isn't months, this might be years, which is sobering. But we need to get our heads around that. So yes, I'm thrilled that the Kroger company has given $100,000 to the Houston Food Bank. They're boots on the ground all year long. They help before there's a tragedy. They help during the tragedy. They help after the tragedy.
Yes.
They're kind of the first line of defense for impoverished neighborhoods and areas of town that don't have the same access everybody else does. We've been sending truckload after truckload after truckload of water and food and supplies to the Houston Food Bank, to other food banks in the area, to the shelters, to Red Cross. Customers can also help in any of our stores. They can donate to the food bank of their choice or the Red Cross, so that's how they can get involved. There's a lot of extra supplies. Before the storm was even over, distribution centers across the Kroger footprint and other states were already mobilizing to send truckloads down, not just to refresh our stores and get the shelves full again, but also to send to the shelters. We're fortunate that Kroger has a nationwide footprint. So while we were, underwater, there were other distribution centers ready to go that were sending truckloads down, and also people. 300 people traveled in from other Kroger divisions to help us man the stores, man the distribution center, the pharmacies, engineers. It's been really a labor of love from colleagues we don't even know, which is amazing because a lot of our people, their own homes were damaged. Like Marla said, some of our people couldn't come back to work right away. So there was relief from other stores from across the country, and actually Kroger stores all across the country, even where it isn't necessarily Kroger. It's, Ralph's in California and QFC, Fred Meyer in the Pacific Northwest. We're practically across the country, even if it's not named Kroger. Customers all across the country are donating right now for the relief effort here. So that's just an amazing, amazing story.
Yeah.
Marla also ingeniously set up an 800 number. So even if you're not at the GRB or one of the shelters, you can get your prescription refilled. I was going to say from the comfort of your home, but it's not exactly that. If you're needing that hotline, that's 844-849-6807, 844-849-6807. So whether you're in a store, whether you're at a shelter, whether you've got a phone anywhere, we are definitely trying to help.
Absolutely. And I just want to say thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. You are agents of change. You're really angels.
Thanks.
Angels on earth for doing this for the good
too.
people. Yeah. And it really made my heart so happy. The amount of joy that I personally felt watching everyone from every ethnic background, be it, the socio-economic situation, whatever, everyone here in Houston helping each other, because we are the most diverse city in the country.
Amen.
We have surpassed New York City. Yes. As a matter of fact, some New Yorkers say, oh yeah, we call Houston the New York of the South. I said, really? Why was that? Nice. Because of the diversity. And so just watching that, it was so refreshing, and I thought, this is America, not that mess that we saw last month toward the beginning of August in Charlottesville. Not that. This right here, people helping people, and there are some people who are doing amazing work who will never get the recognition, but we know there's a special place in heaven for people like that, and for people like you all. And so just thank you on behalf of myself, Urban One, Radio 1, 97.9 The Box, all of our properties. Like, thank you for thinking of these people and providing the services that you all are providing.
Absolutely. Again, wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah. That goes to show your character and your heart. If you are in need and you're down at GRB or any of the shelters, they have 200 prescription drugs that are on site. They have 8 technicians. The hours are from 9 to 5.
We extended 9 to 7.
9 to 7, okay.
Yeah, based on the need requested from the doctors there.
Okay.
So that just kind of, again, realigned us with what was needed.
Yeah, and the hotline, if you need, your prescription refilled, or if you just need it prescribed or whatnot, the phone number is 844-849-6807. That's 844-849-6807, 844-849-6807. Joy and Marla, it's been a pleasure. And I really want to thank you all for stopping through and letting the community, for those who are not aware, know about this great service that you are providing.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for listening to Access Houston.
We'll be back with more Access Houston on 97.9 The Box.